When we talk about building wealth, what comes to mind? Usually, it's things like income, opportunities, or investment strategies. But the Bible points us to a much deeper, more foundational starting point: our inner life. Long before money ever changes hands, something powerful shifts inside a person's heart and mind. Scripture shows us time and again that our imagination, how we picture our life, our potential, our risks, and God's provision is what quietly steers our financial destiny. For better or for worse, our imagination sets the course. As Proverbs says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." Now, let's be clear. Imagination isn't about daydreaming or fantasy. It's the internal language of our beliefs. From the very beginning in Genesis all the way to the teachings of Jesus, imagination is presented as a spiritual capacity with real-world power. God himself acknowledges this power. Think about the Tower of Babel. God didn't look down and say their project was impossible. He said it was dangerous because of what their unified imagination could accomplish. So our imagination isn't weak. It's directional. It points us somewhere. This is why, biblically, wealth doesn't start with resources. It starts with how we see provision, ownership, and responsibility. God didn't just hand Abraham a pile of assets to get him started. What did he do first? He showed him the land. He gave him a vision. Abraham's entire wealth journey began with an inner picture so vast it shaped his decisions for decades. He moved, he negotiated, he invested, and he built his life according to what he had already seen in his mind's eye. But not all imagination builds wealth. Scripture also gives us some serious warnings. Consider the Israelites on the verge of entering the Promised Land. They weren't defeated by the giants they saw above. They were defeated by their own self-perception. They saw themselves as grasshoppers, small, weak, and completely outmatched. And that internal picture, that self-defeating imagination, led to 40 years of wandering in the desert. The same thing happens today. Opportunities are all around us, but if fear dominates our thinking, we never act. And fear is sneaky. It rarely calls itself fear. It usually disguises itself as just being realistic. There's another dangerous side to imagination, the kind that produces wealth but destroys everything else. Before the Great Flood, the Bible describes a society where people's imaginations had become completely corrupt, fueling exploitation and violence. Wealth built on that kind of foundation might grow fast, but it never lasts. Scripture is consistent. Wealth gained without righteousness brings its own destruction. But, as Proverbs tells us, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. So, what's the key to lasting, blessed wealth? It comes from a renewed imagination, one that's disciplined by truth, patience, and wisdom. Think about Joshua. He didn't conquer the land through sheer impulse or charisma. His success was rooted in meditation a daily, deliberate alignment of his thoughts with God's instructions. This kind of renewed imagination leads to predictable, wealth-building behaviors, things like planning, good stewardship, self-control, and consistency. In modern terms, it looks like budgeting, investing wisely, continuous learning, and building systems instead of just chasing quick windfalls. The pattern is clear throughout the Bible and in our own lives. What you consistently imagine, you will eventually move toward. What dominates your inner world will shape your financial decisions. Wealth follows belief long before it follows effort. This is why two people with the exact same income can end up in wildly different financial situations years down the road. It all comes back to their inner world. The Bible never treats our imagination lightly. God corrects it, He cleanses it, and He renews it, because He knows that our imagination determines our direction. True wealth isn't just about earning more money, it's about seeing differently, thinking wisely, and acting faithfully over the long haul. As Proverbs does says, Therese says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." If this teaching has helped you today, please give this video a like and subscribe for more insights on building wealth from a biblical perspective. And don't forget to share this with someone you know who is building their future. Thanks for watching.